This is QTV Nightly News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue, and I'm Jenna Wasonko here at the main news headlines. President Adama Barrow received a delegation at the State House on Friday, led by the Ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Senegal, whose remit covers the Gambia, to discuss investment in agriculture, fisheries, and the Gambia's food security needs. The Q Group Women held a grand celebration on Friday, March 8, to mark International Women's Day 2024. The Medical Research Council Unit, the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine also commemorated International Women's Day at their complex in Fajara on Friday. Also, as part of activities marking International Women's Day, the Mboka Festival Musoluta organized an event highlighting issues affecting women and how they should be confronted. The Gambia Ports Authority and stakeholders in the security sector held a stimulation exercise on Thursday to assess security threats and emergency responses and best practice at the Banjul port. Now, those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Jenna Wasonko, and this is QTV News. President Adama Barrow received a delegation at the State House on Friday, led by the Ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Senegal, whose remit covers the Gambia. The meeting covered investments in the agriculture and fisheries sectors as part of efforts to address Gambia's food security needs. QTV's Momodu Lamin Choi has the latest.
The Gambia Republic of Korea tie is manifesting hope and opportunities in development cooperation. This delegation of Korean officials, led by the ambassador in Senegal, whose remit covers the Gambia, arrived at the Banjul International Airport, where they were received by Mohamed Jah, Korea's Consul General in the Gambia. Together with his Agriculture Minister, President Adama Barrow is meeting the Korean officials to discuss Gambia Republic of Korea cooperation, most prominently in the agriculture and fisheries sectors. Supporting the Gambia to attain rice self-sufficiency for food security is at the top of the agenda in Gambia-Korea cooperation. Dr. Demba Sabali is the Gambia's Minister of Agriculture.
Actually, already they are on the ground. Their experts are already in Sapo, and they've got their trial fields since last year. And their seeds, which are ISRIS 7 and ISRIS 8, these are very high-yielding seeds. They're yielding a minimum of 7 tons per hectare. And what we did last year was to distribute the seeds to our Gambia Seed Growers Association. They grew these seeds. They had a buyback program, and we are using those same seeds for multiplication and onwards distribution to Gambian farmers. The goal is to have this seed as the dominant seed in our fields, on our rice fields, not only for the paddy fields in Sapo and Jahali Pachar, but even for upland production.
Over the years, the Gambia government with their Korean counterparts and the Q Group have been collaborating to implement a major rice project aimed at boosting Gambia's rice production to address the country's national food security. Mohamed Jah is the Consul General of the Republic of Korea in the Gambia and the chairman of the Q Group, the business partner in the rice project.
We have signed a memorandum of understanding between the Q Group and also the Ministry of Agriculture, likewise the South Koreans and the Ministry of Agriculture. And based on that, 2 projects are already on the ground. One is the food multiplication project and also the technical support project with NARI. And we have already Koreans in Sapo, and also we are in preparation at the Q Group level to start the rice fields. We were just waiting to conclude the land tenure issues, which is almost completed. And I think with the seed, the 100-hectare seed multiplication project, that will help not only the Q Group's farms, but all the farmers in the country.
The Korea-Gambia cooperation is set to expand beyond rice production as a new potential investment plan has been discussed with President Barrow during this latest meeting.
But I just want to, say as the Consul General that we've discussed very important issues with the President, apart from the rice field. The other area is in fisheries, fish processing. We'll be working with the Ministry of Fisheries to establish a food processing plant in the Gambia also. So that's one of the things we've discussed with the President, and also the possibility of establishing the Korean embassy in the Gambia.
From the State House, the delegation proceeded to the Ministry of Agriculture, where the Korean officials had a brief meeting with the Agriculture Minister. Both sides highlighted progress in the rice project and gave reassurances of their commitment to collaborate closely to realize Gambia's food security aspirations. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The Q Group women held a grand celebration on Friday, March 8, to mark International Women's Day on the theme Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. Jordan Jai has the rest of that.
International Women's Day, celebrated annually on the 8th of March, is a global day acknowledging the social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity, as it celebrates the achievements and progress women have made and highlights the ongoing struggle for equality and the need for continued advocacy and action worldwide. The United Nations has designated the year 2024's theme as Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, with a focus on addressing economic disempowerment, while the campaign theme for this year is Inspire Inclusion. It highlights the significance of diversity and empowerment across all sectors of society. The theme put a strong emphasis on recognizing the importance of diversity and empowerment in various spheres of society and underscoring the pivotal role of inclusion in advancing gender equality. Here is Njeme Senyai, Manager of Credit Control.
Today is our day. We should be celebrated every day. Since we came to this world, we can do a lot that men will not be a part of. But whatever a man is involved in, we have to support them for that to be successful. Women are homemakers. We get married to a man and his entire family. However, at QCell level, men hold many key positions, but women are not left behind.
Aisatuja, Executive Director of the Q Group Foundation, says women in QCell and the Q Group are proud to associate themselves in initiatives recognizing the great role that women play in our society, homes and offices.
We are very proud that we at the Q Group have been able to have a lot of women that are in leadership positions that will inspire our young ones to take up these roles in the future. I think in our senior management, we have about 40% women in the management, in senior management, and I think that's a very, very big accomplishment in our society. I think the only place in Gambia where women are lagging behind is in politics. You see the issues that are happening around in the recent weeks in Gambia. If we have enough women in politics, perhaps they will help educate, explain more to our male peers, because we cannot do anything without them.
Umi Sisi, Head of HR at QCell, highlights some of the initiatives the Q Group has initiated to protect and promote the welfare of women.
To promote the well-being of our female employees, some of the things we emphasize on are deliberate policy to empower women, which is why we have a lot of women managers, sexual harassment policies to protect our women, health insurance for safer delivery, cancer screens yearly, to name a few. This shows how much we value our women. As your head of HR and on behalf of Q Group Management, I assure you that our commitment to gender equality, health, and safety is unwavering.
International Women's Day is more than just a day to celebrate the achievements of women. It is also a call to action for gender equality, encouraging reflection, advocacy, and action to continue breaking down barriers for women and girls around the globe. For QTV News, I am Julden Yae.
Still on International Women's Day, the Medical Research Council Unit, the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine on Friday, celebrated International Women's Day 2024 at their complex in Fajara. The event brought together women within the MRCG to share their inspiring stories and experiences. Lolem Kamara attended, and this is her report.
8 March each year is commemorated as International Women's Day. The day is set aside by the United Nations in 1975. Since then, it has fostered a strong sense of solidarity across the world. The theme for this year is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. Officials of the Medical Research Council unit of the Gambia says this year's theme also resonates with their commitment to celebrating the remarkable contributions of women in research within MRCG. Here is Aissatou Njai-Cham, Head of Communications at the MRCG.
It's a day to recognize the role of women in science and all of the work that we as a unit have been doing to empower, to strengthen, and to build the capacity of more women in science, not only to practice in the Gambia, but to be much more competitive globally.
Madam Njai-Cham highlighted the need to empower more women to take up leadership roles and ensure we also have more women in the places where decision-making happens. Senabu Drame, Scientific Officer and Wellbeing First Aider Coordinator at MRCG, spoke on the topic work-life balance.
Flexibility is practiced in times of time in our schedules of work. It is a reality that we need to acknowledge. The unit might have many challenges, but when it comes to work and life balance, there is a lot that is also giving. But this is mostly sometimes project-based or departmentally based or based on who your line manager is. But we should look at it in a way that we try to implement it systematically so that every individual is able to find the work and life balance that they desire.
Mustafa Job, Head of HR at MRCG, who was also there, stated that despite the significant efforts made over the years by governments and partners to empower women, more needs to be done.
Employers, legislators, husbands and brothers, wives and sisters, we're all in this together. It is reassuring to see the trend of emerging women in Africa. We have female heads of states, and government departments and parliaments are becoming more gender balanced. Again, we need to do better. As we recognize that there is still work to be done, at MRCG here, which is where we are, we aim to address the barriers women face in science by introducing initiatives that address the root cause and offer the relevant skills to make the change a sustainable one.
Through this interactive session, the MRC hopes to foster dialogue around the challenges and opportunities facing women in research and the importance of gender equality in driving progress in the field. Happy International Women's Day. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
From that story by Lolly M. Kamara, we will go for a short commercial break. And when we return, we have more local news stories. Do stay with us.
ñun ñooy bunti liggéeykaay bi liñ dee def ci suñ liggéey nag bari na te yépp dafa ànd ak ay taxawaay yu takku boole ko ki yeneen sarta yu dëgër fii ci biir réew mi ak bitim réew ñun ñooy yëgal te it jàppale askan wi bañ xam nu nguur gi di doxalee lépp lu réew mi moom ci ay xibaar ak ay bataaxal yu yomba déglu ci kaw loolu ñépp lañ amale ci suñ ay liggéeykat ñu ëpp téeméeri nit ndaxte njëm kanami réew mi moo ñu soxal suñ weeruwaay mooy njub takku booloo ak kóolute ci lépp luy njëriñ askan wi ñun ñooy National Audit Office bunti gestu bu gën a màgg fii ci biir réew mi ñun ñooy teg ay pexe jëfee ci te it di jottali ci suñ liggéeyal askan wi nag dañ saxal suñ bopp te takku ngir gis ne bépp bërëbu liggéeykaay buy jëfandikoo xaalisi réew mi wala sax lépp lu réew mi moom jaarale nañ ko ci ay yoon yu leer.
On Saturday, March 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m., history will be made in the Gambia. His Excellency Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, will be inaugurating the 23-megawatt solar PV plant in the serene town of Jambur, West Coast region. The Gambia government, through the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy and the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, in partnership with the European Investment Bank and the World Bank, will unveil this groundbreaking project tagged the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project Component 1. This monumental achievement marks a significant milestone in the Gambia's journey towards a sustainable future. Let's all come together as we embrace progress, innovation, and a greener tomorrow. Be part of this historic moment as we pave the way for a brighter and cleaner future for the Gambia.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Basonko. Still on International Women's Day, Dumboka Festival Musolu Ta organized a day-long event as part of activities marking International Women's Day, highlighting issues affecting women and how they should be confronted. Momotu Gajaga has the rest of that story.
Women in the Gambia are among the most hardworking people in the country. They toiled the gardens and farms and are engaged in medium and small-scale businesses, and much more. Coupled with this, in many households, they are responsible for the daily domestic chores, such as cooking, doing laundry, in addition taking care of children. Women also face issues such as domestic violence, rape, child marriage, and other forms of abuse. Despite these challenges, there are many women who are high achievers, occupying various positions of leadership. Aishatu Alwar Graham is the CEO and founder of the Alwar Masamba Humanitarian Foundation, talks about the problems of baby abandonment.
Coming with the definition of open abandonment is defined as a child being knowingly left behind by his or her parent who can be identified and whose intention is not to return but to willingly relinquish parental responsibility.
There are some young women who set out to inspire others. One of those who spoke at the event is Bintu, a student at the University of the Gambia, who is also a mother and treasurer of the Gambia Writers Association.
I, as a student at the University of the Gambia, at the same time a mom and a house and a wife as well, has been going through a lot of challenges, but that is not the bottom line. So I would like to advise all the students here and all the women as well to see everything that comes to their lives as challenges and not to be like the end of everything.
Aishatu S. Jete, a student, and Safia Juf, a poet, added their voices with statements about the bond between parents and their girls.
Maybe sometimes it's because they're shy to like talk one-on-one, like put this awareness in them. Like, for example, let's say if you're starting to see your periods, menstruation, the only thing they tell you is like, if you ever go near to a guy, you're getting pregnant.
My problem with most of the issues towards girls being abused, I've realized that the connection between the parent and the girl child is often there's a big gap.
Although the day is set aside to champion women's affairs, some of their male counterparts, like Sheikh Tijan Yang, the founder and principal of iTalk, joined the women to celebrate this day.
The importance that women play in our society, as I said earlier, and we're here to celebrate them. As you can see in this hall, the majority of the people here who are attending these events are women.
International days and weeks are occasions to educate the public on issues of concern, to mobilize political will and resources to address global problems, and to celebrate and reinforce achievements of humanity. The existence of international days predates the establishment of the United Nations, but the UN has embraced them as a powerful advocacy tool. This year, the theme for International Women's Day is Investing in Women, Accelerate Progress. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Happy International Women's Day to women in the Gambia and beyond. Thank you so much for what you do. So moving on, the Gambia Ports Authority and stakeholders in the security sector held a simulation exercise on Thursday to assess security threats, emergency responses and best practice at the Banjul Port. Loliam Camara has the rest of that story.
The simulation exercise fulfilled the requirements of the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, which came into force in 2004. This exercise is an annual activity carried out by the Gambia Ports Authority to comply with requirements of the International Ship and Port Facility. Additionally, It is designed to ensure the Gambia Ports Authority's adherence to national and international maritime regulations while enhancing security protocols. Mampate Damfa, the Ports Facility Security Officer and coordinator of this exercise, explains.
So these are just comprehensive sets of measures to enhance the security of ships and port facilities. In other words, they provide a framework through which ships and ports can cooperate to detect and deter acts that pose a threat to maritime security. So this code has what they call functional requirements. And two of the functional requirements are that we need to have means of raising alarm and responding to security threats, as well as having a security plan whereby that plan should be exercised. So exactly that's what we are doing today.
Mr. Damfa says the theme of the exercise also has to do with tackling illicit drug trafficking, requiring a simulation exercise about responding to security threats.
After the exercise, we'll have a debrief or a hot WhatsApp whereby we could sit and see what went well and what needs to be addressed. But based on what I have seen, I would like to preempt that at least the response was okay, and many improvements have been registered upon the last exercise. So I can say we have registered many more improvements.
Usman Seidiba, Head of Public Affairs and Drug Demand Reduction at the Drug Law Enforcement Agency in the Gambia, says the issue of drugs is complex and affects many nations, especially when it comes to maritime crime. He commended the Gambia Ports Authority for the exercise.
I believe that this is a very laudable move. It's a step in the right direction. We witness here the interception of more than or almost 3 tons of cocaine at the seaport here. So if we are now having such exercise, it is manifesting to people that we are not just looking at the containers, but we are also looking at both upstream and downstream activities. Able to go to the ships, inspect them, and then invite other stakeholders. I believe this is a step in the right direction. When collectively stakeholders come together, we are able to overcome each other's weaknesses.
The exercise is simulated so the level of preparedness of different stakeholders to respond to emergencies are specified in the Port Facility Security and Emergency Plan. Other partners include the Navy, the Police Force, the Immigration Department, the State Intelligence Services, and the Gambia Fire and Rescue Services. Gambia Ports Authority officials say this exercise reaffirms their commitment to ensuring that the port is compliant with the provisions of ISPS code and remains one of the most competitive in the sub-region. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Much needed. Now, Njai Chara School of Basic Business Training on Sunday graduated the 2nd and 3rd cohort of women and men entrepreneurs after an intensive course on basic business training and entrepreneurial skills. Babakar Sise tells us more.
These 500 graduates are trained to venture or expand their businesses, making a total of 650 business-minded people who have graduated at Njai Chara School of Basic Business Training. At this colorful event, a representative of the First Lady, Tina Fall, commended Njai Chara School of Basic Business Training for empowering women and youths.
The First Lady is dedicated to the empowerment of women and children. So Njai Chara is complementing the First Lady's efforts in women's empowerment. We want women to be self-employed and independent. What he is doing will definitely discourage youth from taking the so-called back way. And women are contributing to all sectors of our country. We thank Njai Chara.
Male Sabali is the training coordinator of Njai Chara School of Basic Business Training.
This school was conceived and established by the CEO and team in June 2023. And today, I can proudly say that our products are all benefiting from the partnership and enjoying the fruits of their labor.
Sheikh Ahmad Tijan Sherry is the administrator and secretary at the Njai Chara School of Basic Business Training.
Your time at the school has not only equipped you with business and expertise, but has also instilled in you the values of integrity, collaboration, and continuous improvement in business concepts.
Mayor Amin Yang is the PRO of Njai Chara World Market.
This school is established because a lot of women in business were incurring losses. Because of the training, all these women now have their savings accounts, and in total, we have now saved $2 million. Through our hard work, we have established a baby center, a supermarket, a poultry, and a sewing business.
Francis Mosari, a lecturer at the American International University West Africa, and Cadet Jallo, a graduate, gave words of encouragement.
And what you've learned, it depends to how you use it. It will make no use.
Let us carry with us the lesson we have learned, the wisdom we have made, and the memories we have shared.
Morsar, CEO of Njai Cherawol Market, explains why he is empowering women in basic business training while appealing for support. These women go out and about selling their merchandise. I am appealing to the government and the First Lady to help create a special market for them to sell their wares. It will also help these women, if they have access to finance, to expand their businesses. I am almost overwhelmed by the demand from women, and I need support to be able to continue supporting them. I have 700 registered entrepreneurs in Serakunda, 500 in Basse, 800 in Fonyi, and 200 in Farafenye. Njai Chera School of Basic Business Training has trained and empowered over 1,200 women in basic business and entrepreneurship skills in the Kanifi Municipality, the West Coast Region, North Bank, and Upper River regions, respectively. Babukar Sise, QTV News.
Congratulations to the graduates. Before we leave, let's recap our main headlines. President Adama Barrow received a delegation at the State House on Friday, led by the Ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Senegal, whose remit covers the Gambia, to discuss investment in agriculture, fisheries, and the Gambia's food security needs. The Q Group Women held a grand celebration on Friday, March 8, to mark International Women's Day 2024. The Medical Research Council Unit, the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine also commemorated International Women's Day at their complex in Fajara on Friday. Also, as part of events marking International Women's Day, the Mboka Festival Musoluta organized an event highlighting issues affecting women and how they should be confronted. The Gambia Ports Authority and stakeholders in the security sector held a simulation exercise on Thursday to assess security threats, emergency responses, and best practice at the Banjul port. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do not forget to join us at 10 p.m. for an interesting program marking International Women's Day. Thank you so much for joining us. And once again, happy International Women's Day to all women in the Gambia and beyond.